Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today for another episode where we look at some discount Mookie Betts slabs that I picked up from a fantastic eBay seller that I've kind of begun to frequent or have become friendly with just due to the amazing deals that he has available. So in the first installment of this, we looked at the 5 Mookies that are pictured in the background here. These are all different varieties of Topps Chrome refractors from 2016 and 2017. And in case you missed that episode where I reviewed these 5, was able to bring each one of these home in a nice PSA 9 slab for $9.95 or $9.99 a piece. So $10 price point on, early career Mookie Betts slabs from his time with the Red Sox. Just can't go wrong at that price. Talked about in that first episode how I was kind of astounded to bring home this quintet for $50, maybe slightly over that with shipping and tax added on. Just an absolute steal. Mentioned that I would gladly suck up any of these that I could find at that price point. And I have indeed been back to the well with this seller since. So I have, I think, 4 more slabs to cover here today that we're going to take a look at. What you won't see in front of you, so we've got a pretty nice combination here of regular standard refractor from 2016 and 2017 in the middle. We've also got the sepia or sepia 2016 and 2017, and also, just for good measure, got the 2017 pink. But one of the other, non-serial numbered, easier to pull types of refractors that have existed in Topps Chrome for years running now that was not represented in that first video, just because the seller didn't have any available, would be the Prism refractor. And lo and behold, a few days after pulling the trigger on that first batch of Mookies, the seller listed some more, and included in that batch was the 2016 Prism refractor of Mookie. Also in a 9, you can see these prisms have I've heard this referred to as snake skin effect or fish scale effect, something along those lines. Pretty neat. They're not my favorite refractor out of the ones that Topps does produce, and I think they tend to be one of the lesser or least popular versions. But again, as you might predict, this popped up with a buy it now price of $9.99 from the same trusted seller that I already received the first batch from. And, as was the case the first time around, I just couldn't pass this up in that kind of condition. So decided to pull the trigger on that and add the 2016 Prism to the collection as I fumble around here with that. And also at the same time, guy listed the 2017 Prism refractor, again in a fine 9. Love this image. As you can see in the background here, this is now the 4th copy of this particular refractor that I've been able to pick up in a 9 slab. Again, this was $9.99. The shipping was combined by the seller, so I didn't even have to pay, separate shipping on that. Just simply fantastic. So scooped up both years of Prism. I guess the only one I'm really missing now as far as the easier to acquire refractors from these 2 years would be the pink from 2016. Haven't seen that one crop up yet, at least not from this seller at that price point, but I'll keep an eye open. Would love to add that at some point just to really drive it home and have all 8 matching refractors across those 2 years. So I remain in the hunt for a pink, but I did get 2 others from 2017 that are worth sharing that I got from the seller at the same time. This first one is the only card that I bought from him that was in a PSA 8 rather than a 9. Typically prefer 9s for my modern cards, especially when they're coming as cheap as these did. But in this case, I made an exception and grabbed this 8 for a couple of reasons. This is the purple refractor from the 2017 release. So, we're up to 5 different flavors of the 2017 refractor now. Didn't mind getting this one in an 8 for 2 reasons. Number one, it's serial numbered, and it is rarer than any of these that are currently on display in the background. It's definitely not uber rare or anything, but it's numbered out of 299. You can see on the back here, got copy 235 of 299. And with serial numbered Topps Chrome refractors, I'm willing to get a little bit more creative in terms of dipping below a 9 on the grade, especially if the price is right. And that's the second thing that I loved about this slab. As you might imagine, based on my previous experience buying from this seller, his prices are just insanely reasonable. So for this PSA 8 purple Mookie, he asked just $14.99. So this was, an 8 instead of a 9, but only $5 more than I had been paying for these 9s to get a serial numbered purple. That was just too good to be true. May end up giving that one away at some point or including it in a trade or maybe a VR contest or something here on the channel. But for $14.99, I was just not going to leave that bets behind. And then the fourth and final card that I have to look at today that came in my second batch from this seller. It's also a 2017, but it doesn't feature this image of Mookie in front of the "This Bud's For You" sign, making a great grab in the outfield. It is the image variation. So just about every year, I think every year in Topps Chrome, certainly for the past few years anyway, they've included these kind of short printed image variations. These come in refractor form only. There's no base version of this. And this seller actually had the Mookie SSP or SP, I think it is, image variation from the 2017 release. So you can tell, obviously, a different shot here of just Mookie. It's known as the red jersey variation for obvious reasons. But I'm a sucker. I just love the rarity of the short printed image variations in Chrome. This is a much tougher card to come across just because of that short print situation than any of the other bets that are in the background here. This was, because of that, the most expensive card that I brought home from this seller. But just because it's the most expensive doesn't mean that it was expensive. And I got what I thought was definitely a steal on this image variation Mookie at an asking price of $24.99 for a short printed chrome refractor of a superstar like that. Again, myself, like many collectors, are sitting around waiting for, a year or two now, just hoping that at some point PSA returns grading service to us that is, at the $25 or less price point. And that certainly seems like a very far remote possibility or a long way off in the future, if at all, at this point. So to be able to snag a very rare Mookie refractor, already slabbed, beautiful looking card in a 9 for the same price that, we're just hoping grading returns to at some point, absolute win. And that is the final card that I picked up in my second bout with this seller. I don't know what this guy is up to, if he just went nuts investing in Mookie for a while there, and now because of the injury last year or something, he feels like Mookie's, a lost cause. But as I said the first time around, happy to be the beneficiary of this seller's doubt in Mookie bets. I don't think his 2021 campaign was bad at all. If you look at his numbers and extrapolate, his power was there, his WAR was there. He missed about 25% of the season, but if you look at the numbers that he put up in the 75% of the season that he did play, Mookie had a very good season. I think just expectation level has gotten to a point with bets and other superstars of the game that, a superstar season is expected every year. And if you simply falter and have just a very good season, then all of a sudden you're no good and everybody wants to unload all of your cards. So not going to go on a big rant about that at this point. Suffice it to say, I'm excited to see how Mookie can perform here in 2022 if and when baseball gets off the ground. Please get it together, MLB and the Players Union. And I'll certainly be all the more excited to watch Mookie hopefully excel when baseball gets going, knowing that I have now these 8 discount slabs, or 9 actually, discount slabs in my collection from this seller. So as I said the first time around, a set of cards that I wasn't planning on chasing necessarily, but just felt that an opportunity presented itself here that was simply too good to be true, and kind of had to divert a little bit of funds and my priorities for a few and just grab some of these while they were available at this price. So there's another batch of 4 discount Mookies. Appreciate you stopping by to check those out and enjoy them with me. Hope you saw at least one of these that was interesting to you. And I will certainly be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Until then, take care and enjoy the hobby.